When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying? Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
Sunday football coming from London, Wembley Stadium, has the 4-2 Los Angeles Rams facing the home 4-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites. The projected total is 44.5 points. That means that the Rams are projected to score 23.5 while the Jaguars score 21. There are some key injuries to talk about, particularly with the Rams. Puka Nakua hurt his ankle last week. I think he was actually helped off the field, but it declared day-to-day. So we'll say there's a possibility he's going to play. I don't think so, though. And then third wide receiver, Tutu Atwell, has a hamstring injury, and he is questionable to play as well. Also, backup running back Blake Corum hurt his ankle. Offensive tackle Rob Havenstein is questionable, and linebacker Omar Spates is questionable for the Rams. On the Jags side, center Robert Hainsley is questionable, and linebacker Devin Lloyd is out for sure. Mike, Steph, what do you think about this game in London?
Well, to piggyback off your injury report dealing with Puka Nakua, yes, he has an ankle sprain and day to day. But if Nakua misses this week's game against Jacksonville, he would actually have an additional week to recover from the injury. So even if he could probably gut it through, it would probably be in their best interest just to sit him. And plus, they still do have Davante Adams. Has he been quiet this season? To a certain degree, but that's only because of the prolific numbers that Nakua has been putting up. Listen, so I think this is going to be a Davante Adams game to shine. So for all the fantasy owners out there, now Sunday's 17-3 victory over the Ravens not only kept the Rams atop of the NFC West, but it marked the first time in a decade that the Rams held an opponent to 3 points on the road. The Rams hadn't done so since a 24-0 shutout over the then Washington Redskins on December 7th, 2014. Sunday's win moved the Rams to 4-2 and put them in a three-way tie with the 49ers and the Seahawks atop of the division. Now, here's an interesting note. Did you know that the Los Angeles Rams are choosing to stay in Baltimore this week ahead of their trek over to London town? The Rams will be using Oriole Park in Camden Yards as their next practice site. The decision additionally helps cut down on the travel because it prevents the likes of Sean McVay and Stafford and Davante from having to go back to Los Angeles, then come back to the East to get a connecting flight back to London. So that difference in traveling should hopefully bode well, so they're not so much jet lag getting off the flight and starting a game that's on foreign soil. Now, when it comes to the Jags, they were penalty riddled last week. They was penalized 10 times for 76 yards, and their 20-12 loss to the Seattle Seahawks. It was also the first time this season that the Jaguars failed to notch a takeaway. Remember when I had that stat that said like all their wins, they had like three turnovers, or they gone to 3 turnovers. Well, guess what? They didn't get a turnover, and they lost the game. They entered the week with a plus-minus turnover ratio of 14, plus 14. Trevor Lawrence was sacked 7 times, and Travis Etienne was held to 27 yards on 12 carries. Travis Hunter, the two-way superstar, well, the potential two-way superstar, is continuing to play both sides of the ball. Now, in Sunday's loss, he played 59 snaps on offense and 22 snaps on defense. That means he was on the field for 78% of the offensive plays and 40% of the defensive plays. But unfortunately, he is not really making an impact on either side of the field. And I personally believe that for you to get the optimum value, especially for what they gave up in the draft to move up to give him, he would probably fit better in the defensive backfield than trying to make a receiver out of him full time. So if anything, it should have been swapped. he should spend the majority of the time on the defense and then be brought in for special plays on the offense to optimize what he's able to do. But I'm not the coach. Now, last but not least, on the offensive side, Brian Thomas Jr. came into the season supposedly to be the number one receiving threat for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But do you know he's had at least five drops this season, including a fourth down throw that could have clinched the game against Cincinnati in week 2. But also, not only that, is he's continually showing some fear going over the middle and not trying to take that hit. And he ducked on a pass, I believe, this past game in the end zone. Ducked. Like he saw the defender coming. He was like, I'm not taking that hit. Now, if you're going to be a number one receiver, and especially eventually down the line, you're going to want that number one money. These are things that you have to do. This is the game of football. Sometimes you got to put your body in peril for the greater good of the team. I know that sounds kind of barbaric, but it is what it is. And tell you the truth, after a while, the locker room is not going to be feeling you making business decisions for yourself instead of the team. So, with all that being said, the Rams favored by 2.5 points. I'm taking the Rams minus the 2.5. Over under.
As insistent as I was that I knew what I was talking about with Pittsburgh, I'm very insistent. I don't know what I'm talking about in this game because these teams are kind of a puzzle to me. The Rams, I was up with this team when they lost to Philly. And then they beat Indy, and I was like, this team is amazing. Then they do what they did versus San Francisco, and I'm like, I don't know about these guys. And honestly, beating Baltimore the way they did, not impressive either. Without Puka, I am a little worried. Meanwhile, Jacksonville also is 4-2, and they had impressive wins, beating the Texans, who I think are better than their record shows. They defeated San Francisco in San Francisco, and then 2 weeks ago, defeated Kansas City. And then they played their game that they played against Seattle. I don't know what to make of either one of these teams, just on principle. And because I like disagreeing with you, I will take the Jags versus the 2.5 points. And for the over-under, I don't know, man. Who knows? I don't like this game.
You're the one that came up with the equations. And you talk about the over-under. I don't know. What? Has the vacation made you soft? What's going on? Do you need an extra couple days to get the calculations back in the head to have all the permutations just go crazy? What happened to my hidden gem czar? What's going on here? I don't know.
I used all my juice on the Thursday night game. I just don't have it anymore.
Sure, we got 3 more games after this.
This is a 19 Media Group presentation.
Sold. Still can't do it.
You've earned this. Now it's time to embark on your own personal adventure. Book your vacation with Exquisite Travel and Tours today. Explore the world and discover yourself.